That wasn't what I bought today, by the way. So
Oh, I'm
there's
shocked.
there's an additional figure
You
to show you.
usually expose your purchases the day of.
Oh yeah, I've had him for a couple weeks.
There's no way that that's true.
I okay, it was a week and a half ago when I went to the movies.
To the movies to see Cocaine Bear
Yeah.
last week.
Okay, that wasn't a week and a half. That was a week and one day. I got it 1 week and 1 day ago.
See what I deal with, people?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm.
This is constant. Hey, everyone, and
Hey
welcome to Why Are
everyone.
You Still Here? And you guessed it, if can read over my head. We're talking about Scream 6, directed by Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette, and from the writers James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick. These are all the same people that worked on the last movie, Radio Silence, I believe they are called. And the synopsis, according to IMDb, in the next installment, the survivors of the Ghostface killings leave Woodsboro behind and start a fresh chapter in New York City.
Uh?
I don't like that. So basically,
Yeah, that
Sam,
sucks.
Tara, Mindy, and Chad, the survivors of the last movie, they go away to college. At least everybody does, except for Sam, I guess, and because she's older, and they go to college in New York City. And so they move away. And I think that it's probably just for the safety of being around so many people, right? So yeah, so Melissa Barrera, it stars Courtney Cox, Jenna Ortega, Jasmine Savoy Brown, Mason Gooding, Hayden Panettiere, Devin Nakota, Josh Segura, and so on and so forth. There's also some people, I don't think this is a spoiler because you could just look at IMDb, but there's some cast members from Ready or Not that show up in this, which is pretty cool. So this is the non-spoiler review, right? So we're going to make it pretty quick and concise, and we're not going to string you guys along for too long to find out exactly what our thoughts are. It's going to come out pretty quick, probably.
Yes.
That's what I say. So yeah, we attended the fan event. I don't know if it says it on here. Oh, it does say it on there. We
Very
attended the
good.
fan event. Got a cool poster. I have a picture of it that I took earlier in preparation for this. And there's my Ghostface cup right there. Yeah. Perfect. It
There's
is
the poster.
it's a really cool poster. It's made out of like the thinnest material I think I've ever seen in my life.
I know it was so windy on
Um
the way to the car to put it back. I was
I
afraid it was
know.
going to ruin it.
I thought so too.
But we
And
we
so
did
yeah.
get our ghost face cups. That's Brandon's. This is mine. We
Yes.
chose different poses.
Yep. Mine is the and
And
yours
mine
is
is the
the
for Scream 7, but they used the wrong cup. So
yeah, probably. You got your mask there, I guess. Perfect. Anyway,
so
so
basically that was
yeah,
the best part of the movie.
that was very much so the best part. But so being that it was the fan event, I had literally no idea what that meant. I mean, I will just blindly purchase things that say stuff like that are special.
Yes.
Um, and it was 3D, but that was not exclusive to the fan event. And as we found out once we got in there, because truly I had no idea, there was no coming attractions, there was no previews at all. Instead, it was swapped out with a bunch of like Scream 6 like interviews and the cast playing a game where they pulled things out of like a body bag and like cameos from the Reno 911 cast, which was actually kind of funny. And then the movie started, and some things of what you heard about it were certainly true. It's different. It might not be as different as it probably should be, in my humble opinion, at this stage in the game, but we can't really get much further into detail than that, unfortunately.
When I saw
Um,
the opening of the movie, upon watching it, I absolutely hated it because I didn't know where it was going to go. By the end of the movie, I absolutely
yeah,
loved the opening, by the way. And I'm going to say it may be one of my favorite openings since the first movie. I really
that
like the opening.
that's a hot take.
Yes,
Um,
I have hot takes with this series.
Interesting, especially with how iconic the opening of Scream 2 is. That's really saying something. But hey, who am I? Who am I to
Yeah, who are
judge?
you?
I'm just a fan of Scream 2. Anyway, it is violent. They definitely kicked it up a notch. It's like the
Yes.
Halloween kills of Scream in more ways than one. Lucas, tell me your opinions on Ghostface in this movie.
Um, he's scary. It's fine. I like Ghostface up until he's unmasked, actually.
Yeah.
I think some of the this isn't like any other Ghostface. You know, you see that in the trailer, you hear it in all the behind the scenes stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
It never works out for the dipshit in the mask.
Maybe. But there's never been one like me, Gale. I'm something different.
This isn't like any other Ghostface.
I don't think he was any more or less brutal than in 5. I'm gonna be really honest. I was expecting for a little bit more.
I think that there is definitely more brutality in it, but we can't really get into detail, unfortunately. Um, oh, there's so much stuff I want to say, and I just can't. I'm like restrained. Ghostface does have a feeling, at least, of being more dangerous. That's a feeling I got from the movie. He does have a feeling of having like some type of military background. He seems like he kind of knows what he's doing. Is it a spoiler to say that he still is a little bit clumsy? Is that a
A little fumbly. I
spoiler?
mean, nah.
Because they claimed up and down, they swore that he was not going to be clumsy anymore, and he was clumsy. You know, he still was foiled by being punched in the face and tripping over furniture. Maybe not as much as previous ghost faces, but he still was. They acted like he was just going to be a badass, like Terminator ghost face, you know.
I lift things up and put them down.
And he is to a certain extent, but not
Which is
not
fine. I like some vulnerability to my ghost face. That's one of the
yeah.
appeals of ghost faces. It's always a
I
human behind it. So,
I agree completely. Um,
but speaking on to that, what is it? And I'm going to quote Jill here from Scream 4. I promised I had another Scream 4 quote for you. And I have to say this about the characters that get. I have to say this about the characters who get stabbed in this movie. Are they Michael fucking Myers?
That's yes. It is something that came up in my mind a little bit, and it really was cemented when I watched just a couple other people's reviews, and they
Yeah,
kept
so I
on
watched.
bringing it up.
Nobody used that exact quote from Jill,
No,
but I
no,
wanted
no.
to use it because
Yes.
we talked about Scream 4. But yeah, that totally underutilized, and the Halloween element is like almost non-existent in the movie, like we talked about. It's
Yeah.
like we talked about movies that are set in Halloween that drip with atmosphere, how
Mm-hmm.
some don't even feel like Halloween. Yeah, this
Mm-hmm.
wasn't Halloween.
It may as well not have even been set during that time of the year. It could have been much more Halloweeny. The movie's chaotic. I mean that in both a good way and a bad way. Um, do with that what you will. We will talk about it more in the spoiler review. And
Yes,
this
indeed.
movie is it's hard pressed to try and mimic one of my favorites of the series. And actually I said one of my favorites. It's trying to mimic my favorite movie of the series, and that is Scream 2. I won't say specifically how, but it's definitely trying to do that. And in my opinion, it fails. It fails in that miserably. I'll tell you this. The musical score was flawless, in my opinion. I think that it was
Yeah, I liked all the
absolutely
different
flawless.
renditions of the main Scream theme that they use like 20
Yeah.
times throughout it. They're
I
all pretty
feel
good.
like they brought in more of the Marco Beltrami music, even though he wasn't
like
the composer
score
of it.
was good.
Yes, it has a lot of familiar beats that are really cool. I have nothing else to say about this movie.
It's I've been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Scream 3 has the legacy characters. It's part of the original trilogy. It's a terrible movie. And okay, even then, it's terrible for a Scream movie. And
Yeah.
this is just so far up that ass that I don't know what to say. And I set my expectations way too high. Okay. I loved Scream 5 last year. In preparation for Scream 5, I became an actual Scream fan at this point. You know,
Yeah.
I've watched the movie so much in the year and couple months since Scream 5 has come out, since I've been preparing for it. And it's becoming like my favorite franchise, or at least like right up there. It's so fucking good. This movie's meta aspects are getting to be kind of annoying. It wasn't as well written as 5. It wasn't as smart. The third act fumbled so hard, killed it for me.
Ranging off of that, I heard other people say it, so I guess it's not technically a spoiler. Because you never know what people consider a spoiler and not a spoiler anymore these days. And I did, I said it, and I told Lucas, I was like, I don't think I can say this to our audience, because I'll really paint a target on my back probably. But this is the first time I felt like Scream fatigue. And I'm just kind of over it. I'm over the whole, let's talk about, the movies while, let's talk about movies, and let's talk about the, what this is in a series and in a franchise, and let's be super meta and like all that kind of stuff. And I thought, what's wrong with me? Am I just growing out of this? Because I've loved Scream since 1997 when I was 6 years old. Okay. And I found out from some of the reviews I listened to exactly what you said, that it's just not as well written. And that's why it seems so much more obvious. They were like, how, they in Scream 2, they might, zoom in very subtly on Cotton Weary's shoes to let you know, like, oh, maybe he's the killer. Like, they just do things really subtly. And this movie is basically like them going, hey, look at Cotton Weary's shoes. They're black shoes. Ghostface wears those shoes. It's kind of like that. Like, that's what this entire movie is. It tells you everything. It doesn't think you're smart enough to handle it.
This is the first Scream movie where I literally stopped trying to guess who the killer was, because it was just the accusations were not smart. Does that make any sense?
I 100%. We can't get more detailed than that, but I agree. Something
at no point was I pitting characters against each other in the way I did in all,
because they made it so
Scream
blatant.
films.
They made it so obvious.
I knew the killer right from the fucking beginning of the movie.
I did too, because they basically tell you. That's all I'm gonna say. What's your score? At least right now. It can change. It might even change by tomorrow. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I'm going 5.5.
It's really funny you say that. I don't think I can show this without showing my spoilery notes. But oh, there it is.
I see it.
5.5 out of 10, baby. That's exactly what I wrote down.
It's just slightly above that middle of the road, which is good, because at least the Scream franchise still has a track record of being mostly consistent.
Not like a complete shit show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And um basically in conclusion, at least from me, it really is just that. And you mentioned it, like how it falls off in the last act. And
Oh.
that first act, obviously movies are comprised of 3 acts traditionally, and the first act, you really feel that runtime. It's like, is this ever going to pick up? Because if this how if this is how this whole movie is going to be, I'm going to really feel that this is the longest Scream movie ever, let me tell you.
Yeah.
And then during the second act, I was loving it, having the time of my life. Okay, maybe not the time of my life, but you get what I mean. And then the third act,
Indeed.
I was like, come on,
Talk about dropping the
seriously,
ball.
come on. Anyway, guys, have you seen the movie? If you have, what'd you think about it? Let us know
Family
down
ties cut
below.
deep. That's all I have to say about this
Comment.
movie.
Yeah, Lucas likes to throw in Scream 4 quotes into things. Because
I didn't really side note, I didn't realize how polarizing that movie is since I started watching like like retrospective videos on Scream 4.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about that. We're going to do a re-ranking, and we'll talk about our feelings. And obviously we do have a previous ranking from last year. You can go check that out if you haven't already. A lot of that's going to remain the same, I think, for both of us. So whatever. You'll see our feelings
You will
about
see.
Scream 4. But yeah, so again, if you've seen the movie, let us know what you thought about it down below. Please don't let
This
our
movie's
opinion
this movie's
influence
gonna be the
you.
same way, Brandon. It's gonna be you love this movie or you hate it. I don't know if there's gonna be anybody that's
It would be
like
difficult
the
to be in
6 to
between.
7 out of 10 range.
It would be difficult to be in between with this movie. It makes some hard choices. It makes some real left turn choices. So yes, it's whatever. There's so much I want to tell you guys, but I can't. So,
Let's wait till tomorrow, Brandon.
keep on the lookout for our spoiler review. It's going to be coming at some point. I'm not even kidding. I have a headache. When I sat down to record this review, I did not have a headache, and now I have a headache. I really should have just said that. And I'd just be like, you know what? I have a headache, guys. 5.5 out of 10. That's all you need to know. And it would have been a lot quicker, and then Lucas's pizza wouldn't have burned in the oven. But yeah, and if you guys haven't seen it out there, then are you excited to see it? Again, please don't let us influence you. I don't ever want somebody to
Please.
watch our videos and not see something just because we say that it's not good. Please make your own decisions on things. Like it, love it.
We've said
Say
it a
it's your
million
favorite.
times.
I
We
don't
want
care.
you. We want you to like it. I want to like it. Okay.
Yeah, I would.
Come
Yeah,
on.
me too.
Common sense.
Me too. Bye, everybody.
Go see it, everybody, and come back.
Please.